What is up, everybody, and welcome to this episode of Behind the Season. Just a reminder to everybody watching this episode right now, it is what it sounds like, and this is really just behind the scenes action from some of our hunts and other things that we have going on. So this is not the full caribou hunt film. This is just some stuff that didn't make the final film cut. You'll see some things like failed stalks. I think at one point me and Eric got so bored we tied our own homemade fly and went and tried to catch fish with it, but this is not the full caribou hunt film. Keep an eye out, our hunt films will be dropping a little bit later this fall. Also, in other news, right now at gethushin.com, we are starting to offer way more than just shirts and hats. We are now offering a bunch of gear and goodies from some of our favorite sponsors. Right now, if you head to gethushin.com, you can find a bunch of things from Argali, tents, stoves, knives. We are offering a bunch of peak refuel meals. We also have a bunch of marsupial gear and even some stuff from Uncharted Outdoors for overlanding and first aid. This is something new that we are trying both on our website, gethushin.com, and our app, Get Hushin. So head over to our website. It's a one-stop shop. Check out some of our merch and also a bunch of gear that you may need in the field. Thanks for clicking on this episode of Behind the Season. And without any more, let's get into it.
What's up, guys? You're looking at the world record Alaska moose. This thing scores 248 inches. It's funny, they actually put 0.8s on there, so to make it official you gotta score in 8s apparently. But we're in the airport out here in Anchorage, Alaska. We have a 3-leg flight to get to our destination. We're headed out to hunt caribou with archery equipment. This is a first for everybody here. Got Casey, Dylan from OnX, Logan behind the camera, and our buddy Thad. And we're excited to get out there and see if we can get some caribou with the bow. But we wanted to share with you guys some stuff about logistics, gear that we take, you know, what to expect and all that. So we're gonna jump right into it, guys. Enjoy the vlog. Guys, we made it to Prudhoe Bay. This is a 3-leg flight. For me, it was Salt Lake to Seattle, Seattle to Anchorage, Anchorage to Prudhoe Bay with all our gear. I think we each had 3 checked bags, including a 100-pound cooler with food, weapons. I did bring my bow and also a rifle for backup, but I think each person was about $300 in checked bags. So spending, for those of you who want to do it, a lot of the expenses is actually in the travel and just getting to where you're going. But we just made it to this cool Merc. I think it's a Mercantile, big old sticker collage. This place is kind of famous right here, by the way. From here, we're gonna head south and link up with Hook from Dead Horse Outfitters, and they are our transportation. Take us up the river using their riverboat, and from there, they're gonna drop us off. So in the same day, I woke up in my bed in Salt Lake. We're gonna be resting tonight in caribou camp. Fingers crossed that we see some on the way. But we've got 8 days to get it done. 4 of us with tags, 2 of us with 2 tags. My camp snacks aren't gonna last long at this rate. Day 0, and I'm already mowing down some meat sticks, some peanuts. While everybody's about ready to cook some peak meals, I think I'm gonna skip out, keep it light, and go to bed empty stomach and pack my stove tomorrow with a peak meal in it. But it's about dark, so it doesn't really get dark here for any more than an hour, and it's really just like gray light, and the sun comes back up in about an hour, so there's not really time where it's pitch black. We're still glassing from camp, but we got both our tents set up, and the gear is just kind of a little bit of a yard sale right now, but shooting our bow at 30 yards and everybody's shooting good. So maybe in the morning we can spot some caribou and put some stalks on. We got
so many
6 tags to build.
So many mosquitoes by your head.
Yeah, they're bad.
Well, boys and girls, folks at home, we are on the tundras of Alaska. This is day number 2. We're considering today day number 1 since we just showed up yesterday. It's kind of a bonus day. Yeah, we kind of a caribou thing, man. Like, saw one this morning from a long ways away, but it's a big patience game, like a lot of hunting. I've said this in years past if you guys have watched our caribou videos. So the biggest difference up here is we're back home hunting elk and we can't find elk in a certain area. We can load the trucks up and head to the next area, plan A, plan B, plan C type thing. But here we're not traveling, so we got to be patient and hope for a little bit of migration. But we're gonna find them. This is my 4th year up here. Every time you get up here, you expect to see just hundreds of caribou migrating, but it's just not exactly how it works. It's not National Geographic, guys. This is the Hush channel. We got to earn it. So doing a little bit of breakfast on the camp chef. Everyone's out glassing. Spirits are high. Also what's high is the mosquito numbers this year. We've never seen this amount of mosquitoes up here, but I guess we're due for a mosquito year, so it is what it is. But I'm very positive that we're gonna kill some caribou in the next couple days, and it should be a good time.
We want our caribou decoy to be high alert. Ears out, ears back. And kind of adjust it, guys. We're at camp out here in the tundra along this river, which is pretty sweet because if we want, we can do some fishing. And I made sure to buy myself a fishing license for this trip. But I am shooting for the first time this caribou target. Just put it together. I think I've already bent it, trying to put it back to itself. But a caribou target that you can strap on your bow using Velcro. So if we did this right, I think the first, I've got Velcro on the top of this riser and then on my stabilizer, which is kind of long, so it's somewhat tilted, but little Velcro there, little Velcro there. And now I can shoot through it. So we better shoot at it, shoot through it a couple times, because Dylan, who's used them, says the wind can kind of catch on them a little bit. But what do you guys think?
Look like caribou,
Look
dude.
like caribou?
I think you're gonna trick one of these caribou.
It's wide enough. Like a lot of people, what do they call it, Casey? Flagging?
Flagging, yeah.
Like with something white?
They do it for antelope, yep.
Yeah, let's see how this shoots. Oh, I guess I need my release, but this is camp. We've got 2 of these Cabela's dome tents, which are actually pretty sweet. And for out here, when the wind can pick up and the water and rainstorms can roll through, they're super durable and they stay put really well. Casey just whipped up camp. Thought we'd give you guys a first look at caribou camp. It's day 1, probably about 9:30 a.m. out here in Alaska, which it hardly gets dark at all. But let's let one rip through the old caribou decoy. 30 yards with a block target. Feels all right. We got just a light breeze, so nothing to be concerned about. How does it look?
So good. I want all 3 of you guys to have those on.
All 3 of us just out, dude, just like arrow knock, ready to rock and roll.
Just walk in on a bull.
Like when you're down, knelt down, say you're kneeling.
You're a boo, dude.
I think that's, you can hide behind it pretty dang good, huh?
Yeah.
Dream shot, 30 yards, caribou bull. Dang, dude, that was dead center in the target. Yeah, as long as it's not like super windy, I think shooting with that is pretty dang easy. It doesn't look like it affected the flight of my arrows at 30 anyways. But yeah, we've got a beautiful view up here overlooking that river, and the guys are grabbing on some eggs. Looks like some breakfast sausage and potatoes, making breakfast burritos. But guys, welcome to Alaska. This is gonna be a fun one. And again, we want to give you guys a look of behind the season. So just so you know, there's always gonna be a hunt film that we launch on Sunday, a few weeks from now at least. But this is behind the season, and I think it's pretty fun to show you guys a little bit more of everything we do. Good morning, guys. It's day 2 at 7:45 a.m. I think about 6 a.m. Thad and I both got up and stretched the legs, and Thad started glassing the prairie behind us. So this direction where we went yesterday just so happens to be the hot spot. There was 0 caribou right there yesterday, and today there's been about 4 or 5, including 1 big bull that Thad spotted, and he was bedded there for a minute, but he's up and milling around, and I think I'm gonna grab the bow. Logan's gonna come with me. We're gonna go see how close we can get to this thing. He is in the flat tundra, and you know, a lot of people kind of told us they'll let you get fairly close, 100, 150 yards, but it's kind of hard to break that. So him being alone out in the wide open, I'm personally just kind of curious to how close we can get. We do have a decoy on the backpack and then a decoy for the bow. But he seems calm and just kind of chilling right there in that same little area, so we're gonna go see if we can get on him. Well, my boots lasted 1 day dry, but the feet are wet now, so game over. Guys, that's a big caribou. I think we made the wrong move. He was out in the wide open, so we used some of these brush lines to kind of keep cover. Well, by coming out in this flat stuff, you're dealing with this marsh, and we just can't get around. Like, we're just kind of stuck right here on this little island. And for whatever reason, I don't know if it was the bugs or the birds, but that caribou just started sprinting right to camp and right past us, and there was nothing we can do because we were held up by these bogs and these ponds. So that's a freaking stud. That was really cool just to get that close. We had the decoy out there for a while, and it definitely made him slow down, but he was on a mission to run real far away, nowhere close to archery range. So now we got to figure out how to get out of here. We're soaked all the way to the knees with no clear path how to get from this marshland to that skyline ridge, which is where the caribou ran down into kind of the river bank. He was running right towards camp, so hopefully those guys either see him and maybe they can watch him go down into the gravel bar, and maybe he'll bed down there. Pretty fun, but I don't know if it was worth ruining our boots for the trip.
You just feel so exposed out here.
Yeah, we're just like, how the heck do you get close to a caribou in this wide open stuff? No topography, and just probably need a river boat to get around out here. This is a pretty interesting scene, guys. We're up here and we've just kind of been shooting our bows, getting some target practice in. If you look out this way towards the river, you got spotting scope, chairs, stove, and then behind all of that, you got this giant caribou bull sitting out there in the open, and we've got Casey over here sitting on his bum with a decoy. He looks like a sad hunter, like he can't get to the caribou. Dad's over here in the bushes, and this caribou knows that he has got himself a safe place where he can see anything that would move 360 degrees around him within 200 yards. And we've kind of been perched up on this bluff looking down on the guys to see if anything can happen, but it's as if the bull knows where he's safe and he's just staying put. He'll just bed there for a while. Every now and then he stands up, and then he just sits right back down. So he's got a nice little gravel bar out there where he's surrounded by river and nothing but wide openness, and I don't know how you'd even get a chance at him, but that's the same bull that Logan and I went after this morning. Look, it's so funny looking. But there's our target animal. Can't get him. Good morning. It's day 3 out here in Alaska. We got plenty of sleep last night through a bit of a rainstorm, and a bunch of fog moved in. Some of it's coming in from the coast, some of it was coming in from the backside. And we woke up around 6. I came out here to take a peek, and all I could see was a muskox right below camp. These muskox have been giving us quite the entertainment. Good show. They're just really funneling up and down the riverbed throughout the day. We had a couple that were really close to camp, but no caribou so far. Unfortunately, we got a group of three guys that are trying to navigate across the river system, and 2 of them at least have bows. One of them, it looks like, has a rifle, right?
Yeah, they're not supposed to have rifles, or I think they can have rifles.
They can have
shoot them in the corridor.
Yeah, there's a 5-mile buffer zone up here that's called the Haul Road, and within the 5 miles it's archery only. Is that the same for residents?
Yeah, for everyone.
For everyone? So we're not sure what they're doing. They seem a little unsure about which route they're going to take and where they're going to head, but where they're coming is actually directly at our camp. So that's kind of odd. I think I said yesterday it was nice because we had no pressure, but now we got a group of guys. We're not sure what their game plan is, and I don't think they know their game plan either. They seem a little confused. But a beautiful morning. The temps did drop just a little bit, not a ton, and man, we're just fingers crossed that some more caribou show up. We've only seen the 1 bull, and it's a bit of a waiting game out here.
It's too early to tell.
It's too early to tell.
All right, you guys, so day 4. It's been really slow, super rainy all this morning, and so we've kind of just stayed here at camp, in and out of our tents, glassing. Me and Dylan have been trying to replicate what Eric did yesterday and catch some fish, but we cannot seem to touch them with these foxtails and panther martins. There's like 18 of these graylings all rising. Like, I even threw a leaf out there and one kind of rose and hit it, but none of us have dry flies. So I came up here with my frustrations, and Eric's like, I have a solution.
We got to tie these guys a fly. So we've got a hook, got some caribou hair. We need to find a thread, possibly even fishing line, but we're going to tie those on to there. And then if we can, find either a feather or use some of this downfill out of the first light jacket, which I don't know if that's gonna work or not, but we're gonna try to tie some of that on there. Or again, if we can find a feather, I think it would be better for the wings. Yeah, I did this when I was a kid. Same thing. I was fishing a little creek, or like a Duchesne River actually, and all the fish were hitting top water. So I went to my buddy's cabin and cut some mule deer hair off of the mount on the wall, tied it on a fly, and had a feather. Did the same thing. It ended up being ginormous, like that big. Still got some fish on it though. So if we can make it happen, I think we'd have something to fish with. We just need to find some thread or some fishing line to tie that on.
You want it at the top?
Yeah, like right at the eyelet.
And just wrap it in.
Okay, what's a good knot that we can...
It's called a whip knot, but I don't know how to do it. So what they do is one of those, drop it down the shaft.
Just, I mean, that alone.
Looks pretty legit.
There's phase one. We've got some caribou hair there, and we're just using fishing line to actually tie it. We don't have all the tools and gear, but we've got that tied on there. I think if we had just a little bit of a feather to tie on there, it would really give it like some wings. That alone might trick these things. When that hit the top water, we just don't know if it's gonna sink or float. We found some feathers out there in the creek bottom or the river bottom. Some black ones with white tips. So we're trying to think of how we could tie those on in a way that would create some wings. And I think typically you kind of spiral them around, but we don't have the best of gear. So if we do a few of those, right, we get some wing action going on. It's a legit fly, dude. That's a Alaskan ptarmigan caribou fly.
Dude.
There it is, guys. That's our Alaskan fly. Feeling pretty good about it. These fish are hitting top water pretty hard, and I feel like if we got that out there with some type of homemade bobber, I think something would hit it. It just looks like a big mess, like looks like a big bug with wings. So it's got caribou and ptarmigan feathers, white tipped. Finished it off perfect, and if we catch a fish on this, you guys know that we could survive out here if needed. You know, for what we're working with, pretty excited.
Guys, look at the craft.
Damn, whoa.
Did that catch a fish?
I'm gonna say that we'll catch a fish.
That looks, I don't know anything about flies, but
Will
that
it
looks
float?
really good.
Probably maybe like first cast.
We should have used some of the caribou.
White
did.
tipped, white tipped wings, dude. I mean,
You can get a little spun body. Use the caribou.
Yep.
caribou hair in there.
Yeah.
Here goes nothing, guys. We got down here to the secret honey hole, and there's been 2 fish that have hit the top. So here goes our freaking homemade fly, homemade bobber.
Bobber's floating.
There's the fly, dude. It's floating.
Yeah.
We did it!
Are you filming?
Yes!
Where's
No, looks good, looks good.
Guys,
we got a fish on the fly.
I gotta land him. Did you see him come smoke it?
Yeah. It doesn't count till you land him.
Alright, we got this.
We took our bobber system off and left the strike indicator.
And I was just kind of like casting it like a fly line, which is extremely hard to do.
Come on, Logan. Land that grayling. Come on, your first fish of the trip. Let's go. Yeah!
Dude! Look,
On the homemade
get that in
fly.
his mouth.
No way. Hold on. Focus isn't working. There it is.
Guys, homemade fly. Smoked this grayling. Look at that fish.
Gorgeous fish.
Dude, we did it!
Hooked on the outside barely?
No, like right through the...
Oh yeah, perfect.
through the
right
side.
in the corner.
Let's do it again.
Oh, he's going.
There you go. Dude, we did it. We took the bobber off because when it was landing, I noticed the fly kept following the bobber. And it was kind of a circus to get it out there, but when we finally got it out there, it just came in and smoked it. And I had like line in my hand like I was working a fly rod.
It didn't go out that far, but he hit it almost as soon as it landed.
Dude, and look, she's like recastable.
Nice. Still got the white tips.
Hell yeah. Dude, we did it, dude.
Unreal, guys. I don't know who Who would bet against us? Did those guys? I can't remember. They thought it looked pretty good. They were impressed. But you guys at home, did you really think we'd catch a fish on it or not? Logan just landed his first Arctic grayling on this trip. Fly fishing with a spinning rod and a homemade fly. Look, he's actually fly fishing. Oh man, we thought if a fish would just see it, it looked pretty appetizing. There you go. Yeah, that was cool. Nice work, Logan. I gave it a few casts with the bobber and nothing hit it, but Logan got one. That's cool, man. Here we go, guys. We're at the riverbank with the gear packed up. So you know what that means, this hunt's all over. It was a grind, man. I don't know if we were out here 8 days or what, but we spent every day just glassing. I'd say Thad and Casey were pretty dang consistent behind the glass, really picking this area apart. Dylan was a lucky one to notch a tag out here on his first caribou. The only caribou bull he's ever seen in his whole life. And he shot it with a bow on his first stalk, so it was pretty epic.
It was pretty sweet.
Full velvet, and that thing is just minty. So Hook's on his way to pick us up. Don't forget, guys, these behind the seasons, we're just doing these on Wednesdays. We're gonna have full-length films dropping on Sundays as usual through the fall season. Might start with this one, but I also know that we're throwing it back to some elk hunts this week. I know Brian's is already uploaded. Casey's might be uploaded by now, but we're putting up elk hunts that you guys have never seen before. Those are our Sunday films, so make sure if you haven't seen those that are uploaded already, go back to the library and check those out. But again, yeah, behind the seasons, another episode down, guys. We're heading back to Utah. That's it from Alaska. Hope you guys enjoyed it.